when we come to the middle period of schooling, from 7 to 14-ish, then to begin with, children are of course still imitative. You know that when young children learn an additional language, they pick it up with no, as it were, foreign accent at all. They sound exactly like native speakers. This ends about 9. If you learn something before you're 9, you will almost guaranteed have a perfect accent. If you learn it after 9, you will possibly have a very good accent, and you might well learn the language absolutely perfectly. But the imitative forces are on the wane. What is on the rise, however, is the ability to really empathise, to engage innerly with whatever is going on in your surroundings. If I was to ask you to compare your high school teachers with your primary school teachers, I don't know if you've actually thought this before, but I think that your answers will be different. If you think about some of your primary school teachers, when you were 8, when you were 9, when you were 10, and look back and find what your reactions were. Did you really like Mrs. So-and-so because she had just a great literacy policy and she really could teach you stuff? Or did you like what she did and she was just a really nice person? Were your reactions mainly feeling based, or were they based from the intellect? And if you then go and compare that to pick some high school teacher you liked or didn't like, and just try to identify what your thoughts are around that, I'm sure they're also feeling based, but I imagine, it was certainly the case for me, that what I really appreciated in high school was, did so-and-so know their subject? Were they able to teach me stuff? I didn't always like them. I quite often didn't like them. But some of them I really respected because they absolutely knew what they were about. I would have no kind of reaction along those lines with primary school, which was very much feeling. So in primary school years, in a Steiner school, these are the class teacher years, you approach everything through the arts, through feelings, through emotions. You are teaching a huge amount. You start to learn how to write and read. You start to learn how to do maths. You learn vast amounts, but it doesn't go in through the head. It goes in through engaging with it. And so it is the role, the task, the job, the challenge of the lower and middle school Steiner teacher to learn how to teach through an artistic approach. Steiner talks repeatedly about the art of education. We'll be doing that in the second paper in the second half of the year. And teaching through the arts, there is no teacher born, I think, who is really familiar, really practiced at all the arts. When I started, I have a musical background, so I could do that one very easily. Board drawing was absolutely terrifying. Speech, doing poems, doing plays was not remotely my area of comfort. It was really quite the opposite. And you work on it, and of course, when you're really working on it, the children are having this fantastic example in front of them of an adult, a respected, hopefully, adult, who is working very, very intensely on making themselves better. I think there's actually little which a 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old will respect more than adults who are trying to learn stuff. So the 7 to 14-year-old age group is teaching out of feeling, out of inner engagement, and primarily through the arts. Arts are all kinds of arts, whether they're visual arts, whether they're dramatic arts, musical arts. Everything can have a quality of inner engagement, and also beauty. Beauty is a tremendously, I think, underemphasized quality. The of these truth, beauty, and goodness. The quality which goes with early childhood is goodness. The world is good. You are there, completely open in your littleness, and you just experience the world as being good. And as adults, we have to make sure, as far as we can, that the world around little children is good. The important thing in with 7 to 14-year-olds is then that the world is beautiful. Aesthetics at this period are really important, and children will respond to them. You likely know the really excellent Picasso quote that all children are born artists, and the hard thing is to keep them artists. I think that absolutely is true. If you look back to you or other people you know well, I'm sure when you were little you engaged in painting and singing and dancing really, really happily, and the arts were such a natural expression of your inner self, and you just reacted through artistic engagement, because it's really where just about all children are at. And then something happens. I think I was lucky in that at least one of the arts I kept on going, but the others totally fell by the wayside. And in quite a lot of people, all the arts fall by the wayside, and you have all the hang-ups and the, oh, I can't do that, and you don't want to hear me sing, and you're refusing to get up on the dance floor because you look however you think you look. And this natural wanting to engage with the world artistically, I think it's really important to keep it going as fast as long as you can, and at least ending up in one or two of the arts where adults are actually feeling able to express themselves, because it is also a very important part of being human. You only have to watch the Ken Robinson TED Talks on YouTube to get a really good opinion on that. The arts are a huge thing, and as you know, with the push, at least up till now, on literacy and numeracy, the arts are one of the casualties which has rather fallen by the wayside. And I really, for all schools, and particularly Steiner schools, I'd like to make a really loud noise to just say how they really are part of everybody's education. It is part, or I think, everyone's birthright to be able to engage with the arts and express themselves through the arts. So that's 7 to 14. I'd better stop the rant there. Thanks.